So when I was in Belfast, Northern Ireland, my Catholic friends, they took me to this dance club. And around 2 a.m., a gang of Protestants started hurling rocks at us and climbing on the gates. Quickly, the club transformed into a bunker. We weren't allowed to leave, so we just kept on drinking and dancing. The kids in Belfast are pretty violent too. Do you guys like living next to this big wall?
Nah.
Why not?
Cold shit.
What's it like living near the wall, the peace line?
Terrible. It's good crack because you get to throw stones in it.
Who's them?
The Protestants.
How do you get them?
We'll beat them up and then like this.
I figured all this violence had something to do with not knowing your neighbors, because you live in a city where the Catholics and the Protestant communities are divided by massive walls. And I'm sure it doesn't help that both the Protestants and the Catholics are really struggling, working class people. So here's the story. Northern Ireland is under British rule. The indigenous Irish are Catholic nationalists who want to unify with Ireland, while the ethnic British or Scottish Protestant loyalists want to remain with Britain. It's pretty confusing, but the bottom line is that the walls that split the communities compound the poverty, which then fuels the hostility.
The aims and objectives of Republican militants' violence was to force a British withdrawal from Ireland. The Irish Republicanism isn't about the defeat of Britain, it's about the promotion of Ireland.
It's just a feeling in your heart, you know, that you're Irish and you have to live under Irish rule. You know. Britain still has a say in the affairs of Ireland. Until it is abolished, you'll always get a group of people who will fight British rule in Ireland.
There are somewhere in the region of 40 plus peace lines in the Belfast area. And these are separating the people who most need to be integrated. A peace line is a euphemism for demarcation between, I regret to say it, largely working class areas. The working class Protestant does not know the working class Catholic, and the working class Catholic does not know the working class Protestant. They are divided. A tension between people of exactly the same class. And they shouldn't be divided, they should be united.
So you say nationalist homes?
Yes.
And
loyalist homes.
Okay.
This is a peace line. They're only working class people like us, you know. With wee small houses like us, you know. The only thing is they had a job more than we had, you know.
Who's on that side of the wall?
Who's on that side? That would be the Protestants would be on that side. So it is. It's a shame to see. You look out there and it's parks and trees and beauty, but then you turn your back and then look at that wall and it's a shame. But sure, what can you do? You know.
So all this here side will be Protestant, and as soon as you go over this gate here, just where the fence is, you're in the Falls Road, you're in their Catholic community. The same here. This is a local hotspot for sectarian tension. Just over here, we call it the Muck House, and as you can see, the barricades is up, and they would throw back and forth to each other, try and put each other's windows in, and we have trouble here all the time, like so.
When was the last time there was just some trouble going on?
Last week.
Last week?
Last week. Some of my kids are more sectarian now than people were when there was a fucking war going on. I'd never ever met a Catholic until the year 2000, until I went to jail. And I realised that the Catholic population have the same problems as our community have. So there's no difference in us at all now, is there?
You never seen what their community was like. They never seen. They were probably like the exact same streets, and they probably did, and the kids were probably playing the exact same games in the street and doing the exact same thing. But you were never in their area. You know, you had all these walls. You just passed all these walls, and you knew
who lived there. Yeah.
Who lived there.
But you never.
But you never. Yeah. You never drove in. There's similarities on both sides of the wall, basically, but we don't get to see theirs. We don't get to see how similar they are to us, and they don't see how similar they are. You know. because of these walls. I couldn't see them within the next few years coming down or even attempting to take them down.
They're actually, in some places, they're building them higher. This wall, that's what's creating the fear. Do you know what I mean? It's because they're a bit of concrete.
Yeah.
Maybe the people should take it into their own hands and lead themselves from the front and tear the walls down themselves. Maybe it'll be the ex-prisoners who'll turn around and say, right, no, these walls need to come down. And it would be very embarrassing, like, if ex-prisoners from both sides of the community were to start knocking the walls down, Berlin style.
When I was in prison, you know, I fought Republicans outside, I fought Republicans in prison. I mean, I was scalded in prison, I had my ear kicked off in prison, stuff like that. I've fought Republicanism basically all my adult life. And it's amazing now that I'm sitting down with people who, if not tried to kill me, probably ordered people to try and murder me. Ex-combatants and ex-political prisoners have been at the forefront in the peace process. They're the people that know that war's about. The people that fought for their communities during the war, during the Troubles, are now fighting for their communities in different ways.
You demolish a peace wall tomorrow, and what you're going to have is two communities looking at each other over a relatively short space, maybe only 50 metres, and they've never met, they've never spoken, they've no relationships whatsoever. So maybe the thinking should be going into not knocking down the physical walls, but building relationships between the interfaith communities, so that when eventually the walls come down, they're not looking at complete strangers, but they're looking at people that are human beings, that have families, that have problems. Think less in terms of the material, bricks and mortar, but think of the relationships and the mindsets.
The feeling about the walls basically is that we have to change people's mindsets. We have to bring down the barriers and the walls in people's minds before we can bring down the actual walls.
That when we get back to a society that is free for all people, then the walls will be removed, not only in your mind but possibly physically.
But there are two traditions on the island. Both those traditions have their own culture and they should be accepted.
There's two traditions within our country, just like there is in any divided city. Long term, we would see that those two traditions can live with each other. The two cultures can live with each other. But we've got to be comfortable with each other. We've got to accept each other's state of mind and what our philosophies are, political identity as well as our cultural identity.